So yesterday we had a live stream at the Crypto Niche Hangout on Telegram, where we had the first ever live stream on retirement plans. Retirement plans, you know, and this led to people asking a lot of questions like what are they going to do to achieve their targets? How can they get started? I noticed that a lot of people were curious about what to do. And that opened up a lot of conversations in my DMs, through voice notes, through text, through calls. It was quite impressive. It was impressive because you know people are now becoming curious. It was like a wake up call to everyone. A wake up call to everyone. All young Africans, especially between the age of 25 to 35. So it's made it important to have a short video because live stream lasted for almost 2 hours. I think more than 1.5 hour yesterday. It was very exciting. Now we want to have a quick run through of what we discussed yesterday, and also to throw more light and answer a couple of questions along the way. This is the essence of this video. So this video by default should not go beyond 30 minutes. You should not even get up to that. So I want you to stick around. If you have a pen with you, hold it, jot as much as possible because this is going to turn a lot of things around for you. So there's no how you will watch till to the end that you're not going to get value from it. There's no how you watch to the end that you will not be able to articulate plans for yourself, and for people that you love. More importantly. So retirement plan for young Africans. This is the topic. I'm planning today for a happy tomorrow. If you do not plan today, I'm sorry, you may not have happy tomorrow. Okay. So because if you want God to help you on certain things, you have to make it easy for God to help you. Because what are you put in place? If you want God to bless a business, you have to start that business first, right? If you want God to bless your hustle, you have to start that hustle. If you want God to bless an investment, you have to make the investment first. So you have to make it easy. Not only God, you have to make it easy for people to help you also. So now let's move from here. So retirement is not a age problem. It's not an age problem. It is a planning problem. The earlier you start planning for it, the better it is. Because every drop of water you drop into that empty cup, eventually the cup will become filled up at some point. Yes, it's become filled up at some point. So retirement is not an age problem at all. It is a planning problem. So you have to get started as early as possible. So what the first thing is that you must eliminate bad debts. Yes, let me repeat that. You have to eliminate bad debt. Any debt that is not bringing value to your life has to be eliminated first. The debt you've taken for to consume, the debt you've taken to buy food at home. Yes, food is essential, but it doesn't make it a good debt. The debt you've incurred to buy clothes, to look good, to buy shoes. The debt that you incur to pay for your house rent. House rent is important, but the debt that you took to take that house rent is still not a good debt because it's not actually bringing in more money to you. Except the house rent is giving you more money. Maybe a kind of short-let apartment. That is a business. That's a different ballgame entirely. So any kind of loan you've taken, maybe you've taken loan to send money to your girlfriend, you've taken loan to send money to your boyfriend, to people, that is not a good debt. So those debts you have to bring out your notepad, highlight those debts one after the other, and begin to pay them off right now. Pay them off. Call your friends that you are owing. Tell them, I want to pay off this debt. Do you understand? So that is the first thing first. The one you took through loan app, go and pay it. Don't let them continue to drag you across the internet. Go and pay it. Honor that debt. Okay, don't use that to destroy your credit score on your BVN, because the CBN is watching you. All right. So as soon as you're able to eliminate that, the next step is to talk about the pension fund contribution. And for the sake of this conversation, we are pegging it to like 100K minimum per month. If you're not there yet, no problem. But the problem is, if you're not striving to get to that point where you can spend the 100K on your contribution, if you're not there yet, you have to strive to get there. For instance, if you're earning, let's say you're earning like 600K a month, setting aside 100K per month towards your pension should not be a problem, because you're still less than 100. So you can do whatever you want to do, remaining 500, isn't it? Yes. So, but that needs to be set aside, and that 100 out of 600 is not even up to 20% of 600. So you set it aside. Now, in advanced world, their own contribution may not really be as big as that, but you cannot afford to do anything lower than that here, because there's no social infrastructure for you. There's no food stamp for you. There's no food stamp here. All these social whatever they provide elsewhere, you don't have it here. So you cannot, when two people are holding sticks, somebody is holding the longer part of the stick. So if you are holding the shorter part of the stick, your own journey will be different. Your own mindset will be different. So you do things differently, right? You do things differently. So investing, not savings. If you are saving 100K on a monthly basis, every month, you receive your income, you take 100K from it, you save it, then that is 1.2M per annum. If you save that for 20 years, that is 24M. 24M in the next 20 years, if you factor in inflation, currency devaluation, it will mean nothing. Yes, it will mean nothing. It's not much. It's not much. So you don't want to make that mistake of saving for your retirement. Okay? It is only through investing. So saving is not retirement planning. Investing is. You have to find means. You have to find means to grow that thing. You have to find means to multiply that thing. That is the only way forward. Right? So now let's have a look at the first plan. The first plan would, we're going to, because it's something that we are going to be doing collectively. We're going to be pushing ourselves, inspiring ourselves, motivating ourselves, monitoring ourselves. When you have a dashboard, that monitors you every now and then, you tend to do something better than if it is just you and you alone. There is no driving force behind you. That is the problem. So we are going to start pension contribution with pension managers. There are so many of them. You have Stanbic IBTC, you have Starling, you have, there are so many of them. So you have to talk to the pension managers, and you contribute towards the pension. No matter how small, how little per month. Because this is, do you know why this is even difficult? It is even difficult because for those who are doing 9 to 5 jobs, there's a system that automatically subtract that from their income. But for you, you're not doing 9 to 5, you're not working in the civil service, you're not working in the private service, definitely it will be difficult for you. Let's be honest with ourselves. Because we are in full control of the entire income. Nobody is removing it on your behalf. So by the time you receive the entire income, you'll be tempted. I need this, but that is where it's even become difficult. So you have to be, if someone who does 9 to 5 needs, let's say, 10 points for discipline, you need 1,000 points of discipline. You need 1,001 points for discipline. You have to be extra, 10x extra, right? 100x extra. It takes an extraordinary level of commitment and discipline. And the thing is, if you do it for 3 years, it becomes part of you. It becomes part of you. Do you understand? So to now establish that habit, that is where the bulk of the problem is. So that's the first plan. Second one, is dollar assets. Talking about dollar assets, we're talking about buying the US bond, the US Treasury, interacting with the US money market. That is dollar assets. So we are putting that into USD. However, it is not just there; it is growing with the USD economy, the dollar economy. Okay, and that in a way will cover for it will cover you against some level of inflation that you experience maybe in Nigeria or in other African countries or any part of the world where you're watching this. So that is for dollar assets. So the third one is stocks, ETFs, and Bitcoin. So here the third plan, you look at stocks that you think make sense to you. Maybe there is this particular thing that you consume a lot. If you consume something a lot and your friends are buying that a lot, there's nothing bad in actually buying that stock. So it could be dividend paying stock or non-dividend paying stock. It doesn't really matter. Okay. The main thing is that your money, your fund is growing with that stocks. Maybe in the next couple of 10, 20 years, you can get something reasonable from it. So ETFs is not bad. The exchange traded funds, they're not bad. They also Bitcoin is not bad too. So the Bitcoin you're buying is not Bitcoin to sell in the next 10 years. This is the Bitcoin that will be there for you in the next 20 years. Do you understand that part? So that is the third plan. Now the fourth plan is local treasury bills and bonds. Local treasury bills and bonds. There's nothing wrong with buying local bills. And, you see our treasury bills paying up to 20%. I saw that recently. I was surprised. 25%, 22%. It varies. You have the bond market paying 15%, 18% in Nigeria. It's crazy. Do you understand? So there's nothing wrong in that. So if you find a way, to invest in treasury bills and bonds, it's not bad. Okay, just that whatever profit, whatever returns you're getting from it, you still go ahead and put it back into the system because you are not investing in retirement so that you can cash out in the next 10 years. You are doing that for your future. Do you understand that? So now let's talk about the fifth plan. Like I said in the live stream yesterday, I said if I talk about something like this and I did not mention gold in that conversation, you should know that there is a high probability that you are watching AI video. You know how passionate I am and how knowledgeable I am when it comes to this. You know this by now, right? So that's also part of your plan. So a fraction of that 10K you're saving every month needs to go into this. But you'll be wondering, how can 5,000 naira buy gold? Can 10,000 naira, we'll cover those things later. So it has to be part of it because it will protect the yield. Gold will do something for you. It will do two things for you. Either it protects you, like you play 1-1 draw, like it grows, at the same rate as inflation in your country. It grows at the same rate as your local currency devaluation, right? What I'm talking about is, let's say like 20 years ago, let's say like 1,000 naira could afford maybe a PC 20 years ago. And when you put that 1,000 into gold 20 years ago, by virtue of how much the value is today, maybe when you sell that gold, now it costs, you're able to like convert that to 1.3 M. And that 1.3 M now can still get you a PC today. Then it means that it has adequately protected you against that inflation. That is 1-1. You are playing draw with inflation. Now, if by the time you liquidated that asset, for instance, you're able to sell it for like 2.6, 2.5, even 12, then in that case, you are ahead of inflation. You've won. Yeah, this is not draw. You're not playing draw anymore. Then you've won that inflation. So that is the kind of role that gold will play in your portfolio. So moving on from that point, let's go to the sixth plan: business and agriculture. Business is something that you are doing because you're not retiring to sleep at home. You're not retiring to start sleeping at home or being idle. No, that is not your. By the time you actually retire at 55, for instance, you don't want to be sitting at home. You want to be, moving. You want to be engaging in things. You want to be doing things. That's what you want to be doing. So, because for some people, Life starts at 60. God has blessed them with good health, strong mind. So even at 60, they're still working, they're still interacting, they're still traveling, they're exploring. They're exploring their hobbies, they're learning new things, they're living life to the fullest at that age. Okay, they're ticking, they're checking their bucket list. Have I done this before? No, I want to do it. What about this? They are doing stuff, beautiful stuff. They're making massive impact, global impact, regional impact, local impact. Well, the only difference is that whatever things they are doing, they are not incentivized by money. They are doing it because they love it. They are doing it because they want to do it. They are doing it because they have passion for it. So they may be running business, may be working, not because they must do it. Because if you have to do something for money, then you must do it because your income, your livelihood depends on it. But if you have to do something because you like it, you just want to do it, it's different, right? So you need to like look for a business that you could try. So a fraction of that savings will be set aside to try a couple of businesses because nothing is guaranteed in business. So business is risky. But what is riskier than that one is not doing that business at all. Okay. So no matter how, if you try a couple of businesses, one is going to work for you. Okay. There is no how. So having that business and growing it, you could leave the business behind for your children so that they will not have to start from scratch anymore. That is if they are interested in running businesses. So it gives them a leverage, an advantage, just like what my friend said when I had a chat with him. Because when I asked him about his retirement plan, he gave me a comprehensive, like I was impressed. You know, I had 13 people about retirement plan. He's the one that gave the most comprehensive plan, and business is part of his plan. Because he said he would like to leave something of legacy behind for his children. So while he's alive, he's running the business, he's still making some income here and there, and even when the kids are grown up, they can still join him and run the business. So he might not just be supervising, to make sure that they get the hang of the business before he leaves the business for them for completely. So talking about agriculture, it could be stock, it could be cash crop, basically cash crop. Okay, something that you nurture, something that you take care of for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and after that 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, then it now begins to take care of you. Okay, so it means that if you start that cash crop earlier, before 10 years, 20 years, you must have earned massively from it. And that will also be contributing automatically again towards your retirement plan. Do you understand? That is the role of agriculture. So it could be oil palm, it could be coconut, it could be rubber, it could be cocoa. Yeah, it has to be cash crop. There's a reason why they call it cash crop, because cash crop must produce cash. Cash crop must print cash for you, right? And it has to be doing it effortlessly. It has to be doing it and it will be requiring lesser effort. When you say lesser effort, let's assume that you have a rubber palm. By the time rubber palm gets to the fifth year, it will form canopy. It's a form canopy, like the soil are shaded, they are covered, kind of. So when they are covered, you spend less resources, you spend less effort in trying to clear, to clear the weed because a canopy has been formed. By the time you get to 7, 8, 9 years, the canopy is fully formed that you will barely be seen, maybe once in a year, you just hire somebody to help you and clear the grasses under it. And that is it. That is it. That is all you'll be doing for it. Then the next thing is just like tap the rubber from the tree and sell. That is what is called cash crop. So if it is coconut, it's something that is applicable to it. So if it is coconut, for instance, you can drink coconut water. It's good for your body even at old age, and you'll be drinking the freshest version of it. Isn't that amazing? Then you can sell the coconut. Right. So imagine you have like 3 plots, 4 plots of land, for instance, and there's a concrete plan on how we're going to be helping the community members to achieve this at some point. So, but this is just like an intro, a preamble, to what's on ground. So now let's say you have that coconut plantation, for instance, you sell. There is no how every year between 1.5 to 2 to 3 you'll be making it from that palm every year. And if you're planting the dwarf version of it, the dwarf breed, in the third year you start harvesting, you start producing fruit. If you plant the tall one, in 5 years you start getting fruit from it. So that 3 5 years, it will come and go. That is the reality on ground. By the time you celebrate how many Christmas, done, 5 years is gone. It's gone. It will definitely come and go. So you have to make an effort. I don't want this to be so long, like I promised, so I have to like try and rush this over. So this is how you're going to be allocating it. Let's say you have 15, 15, that's 30. This is 40, right? 40. Then this is 60. This is 60, right? Plus this one, this is 75, right? 75 plus this, they have 90. They have extra 10, isn't it? So that 10, we're going to allocate that also effectively at some point. So now, like someone suggested yesterday, he said we should make it percentage wise. So we're going to be working on that to improve this. So let's say your pension manager's 15K goes to it on a monthly basis, for instance, that is annual, that is 15 times 12 annual, you know what that means. So then your gold assets, 15K goes to it, your local TVs and bonds, 10K goes to it, stocks, ETF and Bitcoin, 20K goes to it, the dollar assets, 15K goes to it, then business and agriculture, 15K goes to it. This, when you multiply this by 10, you know what it means. When you multiply this by, and you have extra 10K on ground that can still also be added to this if you want, right? So this is the plan, So you're going to be having a retirement cooperative, but most likely you're going to be partnering with Chain Co-op. Chain Co-op has a cooperative that is running already. So we can partner with Chain Co-op, and we're going to be working together to achieve this remarkable result. So upgrade our monthly income. So if your income does not allow you don't have the opportunity to allocate 100K per month through your income, it means that you are earning less income at the moment. Your income is low. So we need to find a way. These are some of the things we're going to be talking about frequently. We need to find a way to upgrade that income. So incentivize discipline. So we're going to find a way to incentivize those who are disciplined and are highly committed to the plan. Okay, so we push you, we motivate you, we follow up on you to make sure that you are doing what you are supposed to do. So, and there's going to be an annual co-op plans. Like you have to be paying for the service that we're going to be rendering to you. Okay, so because there is this saying that where a man's money is, his heart's going to be there. So if the service is rendered and you have to pay annually, so to get a service to help you to manage to grow, your retirement fund, then you have to pay for it. So the payment could be in percentage of your contributions, or it could be a fixed amount. We're not sure yet until we actually talk or we speak to the members of the Chain Co-op, that is Chain Cooperative. So yeah, that is it. Yesterday we had a series of questions and answers. But if you're watching this, maybe on YouTube, for instance, if you're watching this, you can leave your question below and your answers below, right? So now, thank you for watching. But I have something to say before we go. Let me show something real quick. I want to give an assignment. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to post your results under the comment section. Yeah. So post your result in the comment section, please. So I'm not a native. So look at this. This is the prompts they're going to use. I'm going to paste this prompt in the comments. So you can copy it. You can copy the prompt and use it. Okay, you copy it out and use it. Then you now reply the video. We make a comment of your result. So I want you to use a different AI. Don't use ChatGPT. Use different AI. Use Grok, use Gemini, use Meta AI, use DeepSeek, a couple of others. Use them. So this is the prompt. You can say, if I'm setting aside 1.2 M for my retirement plan every year for 20 years, for every 1.2 M naira that I set aside, it compounds at 30% gross per annum I want to retire by 2045. For instance, if I set aside 1.2 M naira in 2026, it will compound at a rate of 30% per annum for 20 years. The one that I will set aside in 2027 will compound at a rate of 30% per annum for 19 years, and so on down the line. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. Give me a breakdown of what my retirement portfolio will look like in 2047. No bluff, no additional suggestion, no unnecessary advice. Ignore my chat history with you. Just go straight to the point. And this is it. So this is the answer. Final value in 2047. This is the calculation. This is the breakdown. And this is the final result. So for some other guys that use a different AI, they got some result also. So that's okay. Do exact thing for 20%, and here is the final result. So if I go right now, and I copy this, where is it? Okay, if I go right here and copy this, we've done for 20%. Now let's do for 40%. And I say do exact same thing for 40%. Okay, now let's see the result. So I want you to have an idea of the advantage of starting early. Okay, the advantage of starting early. This is what I want you to have an idea of. So you can see this at 40%, this is 2.5 billion in 2047. So now, if you are able to grow your asset to this, that is even like, let's even say you're able to grow your asset to like 357 or even 700, even 700 in that period. What you need as annual retirement income is to be getting, even if you are getting only 10% every year from the total value of what you have, you're going to be getting 70 M every year to travel abroad, to pay for your health, to maintain your lifestyle. That is what you get. Okay, so if you are getting 20% of this every year, you are getting 140 M. Don't forget that this value is still intact. It's still pretty much intact. So that is what we are going to, it's not going to be easy, but it is worth it. It's not going to be easy. Nobody says it's going to be easy, but it is worth it. It is worth giving a shot to achieve it. So like I promised, this is not going to be up to 30 minutes. It's around 27 minutes. So yeah, that is it. Post your results. Play around this with different percentage, 10%, 15%, 25%, and post your results in the comment section of this video. I can't wait to hear from you. So have a lovely day. Bye. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your loved ones. Let them see the breakdown also. Share with your loved ones. Like the video. So that more people can view it. When you like a video like this, you are helping the algorithm to say, okay, to show it to more people. And when those people see it, you are doing good. You are helping them. Do you understand? Some video that you are seeing on YouTube is because somebody liked it. That is why YouTube is showing it to you. And if that video has added value to you, then reward should go to the person that liked it. So if you also liked it, if you also like a video, we are doing the same thing to other people too. And God will bless you for that abundantly. Have a lovely day.